Chapter 21. Talking with Hagrid and Moment of Weakness. The following morning, I woke up not feeling completely like myself. Trying to be strong is taking a lot out of me. Maybe it was because I was still in shock at the way Snape acted yesterday at the hallway while I was with my friends, or from the events that occurred recently that has now left me feeling truly lost. His actions confuse and frustrate me, yet somehow I grew to have feelings for him that are hard to deny and make disappear. Not to mention, too, that my stepdad is on his deathbed. I know that Hagrid said in a letter yesterday that he wanted to have a chat with me. So, I finally got up and took a quick shower, feeling it waking me up with the warm water running down my body. 10 minutes later, I got out of the shower, put on my robes, fixed my hair, and brushed my teeth. I looked in the mirror and nodded, feeling satisfied with myself. I left the area and went my way to see Hagrid. For the most part, all of what was from Snape hurting is really healing well and is mostly gone. I still can't believe he did that to me. In the hallway, I noticed that Mad-Eye Moody saw me walking along too. Moody then gave me a weird stare for some reason, which made me feel so clueless. I swear this guy is creepy with a capital C. He fancies Harry more than anyone else, and I'm not sure why. Once I arrived at Hagrid's, I knocked on the door, and he answered it with his dong fang looking at me. "Hey there, Miranda. Come on in." I walked in as he shut the door behind me, and we both sat down. "So, how are you doing?" "Okay, I guess. I mean, Harry and I are dating, or trying to date anyway, since we've been close friends for a long time. Since we had talked and such way beforehand. Snape told me to try and forget about my feelings for him." "Well, I felt he had some sort of feelings for you. When did you two start dating?" "Only a couple of days ago. We told each other our feelings and decided to give it a try. If it becomes too much or gets in the way of our friendship, we'll stay as friends. I also know Harry is shy about some things too, but our friendship is the most crucial." How are you doing okay with this, with Professor Snape?" I knew he felt a bit weird for asking, but I knew he cared. I shook my head as I felt tears forming and admitted, "I've done nothing but be good to him, Hagrid. I don't deserve this. Why is he this way? He's nice and he's mean. Then he says he's sorry but keeps on doing things that hurt me." "Miranda, it's the way he is, I believe." I asked Hagrid sadly. "Is he always like this, Hagrid?" He nodded his head. "I'm afraid so. Yes. I saw the way he looked at you that day at lunch. He looked like he was about to kill someone." My eyes got wide with pure surprise as I couldn't say anything back in response. Although Snape still does feel something, he'll get jealous. "Miranda, the last thing I want to see you be is down like this. It's not healthy for you, but I know you have a lot on your plate to deal with." "I know it isn't, Hagrid, and I'm sorry overall. I mean, yesterday he was being cold-hearted to me in front of Hermione, Harry, Ron, Neville, Fred, and George. Then he has the nerve to kiss me hard in front of them. I had to force him off of me as if he turned into a completely different person." "No, he didn't." "Well, he is a man. I know, but he shouldn't have done that in front of my friends and Harry. I know how he is, Hagrid. I'm not sure if I should forgive him. I mean, I barely forgave him for beating me up, but now this too?" "He shouldn't have done that to you. All I can say to do, Miranda, is to continue to follow your heart and think of what he really wants. No matter what goes on with you and Snape, he clearly has some type of feelings for you, and is sorry for the minute he gets alone. Then he cries. I've never heard of him acting like this before." "I guess you do have a point about that. I just wish I knew what I really wanted. I know a lot is going on with the tournament and all. But Hagrid, I've been thinking recently that Snape and Professor Dumbledore are hiding something from me." "What do you mean?" "Snape told me that he did something that made Dumbledore not trust him, but now he trusts him again, and neither Snape nor Dumbledore will tell me." "You shouldn't want to know, Miranda. Please tell me, Hagrid. It may upset you. Please tell me, Hagrid, whatever it is. I deserve to know and not have any more secrets hidden." I looked at him, trying to let him know that it was fine for him to tell me. He sighed, but looked at me and grabbed my hand tightly. "Okay, if you really want to know, but don't say it I didn't warn you for telling you this. I don't want to see something happening to you." I sighed as I heard this warning loud and clear. "I understand. 10 years ago, Professor Snape was his servant and a Death Eater. Voldemort wanted Snape to help him kill your parents. Snape said no because he didn't want such a sweet, innocent, beautiful little girl losing her parents in that way and get affected by an event like that. Voldemort was outraged and said he would painfully kill him, the other Death Eaters, and Professor Dumbledore too if he didn't help. Also make wizards and muggles suffer till they are dead. So, Snape had no choice in the matter but to help you kill your birth parents. He knew how powerful he was and how much damage he can do. After Voldemort killed your parents, he disappeared, but we wizards know one day that he will come back alive. I sat there shocked and completely speechless at what I was hearing. Tears formed in my eyes. So, Snape helped Voldemort kill my parents under Voldemort's orders, Hagrid? Yes, Miranda. I don't understand how or why my parents would get involved. My birth mom was a wizard, and my birth dad was a muggle. Did my birth mother get in Voldemort with Voldemort somehow? I don't know, Miranda. I'm sorry for having to be the one to tell you. If Dumbledore knew that I told you, he wouldn't be happy at all. I nodded my head as I was trying to process this. Did my birth mother find herself in trouble with Voldemort? The next thing I knew, I fell to the ground on my knees, crying really hard. Poor Hagrid didn't know what to do at first. Then he kneeled, grabbed me, and pulled me up to him. He hugged me comfortably, and I cried even more. I heard him muttering in between me crying. I shouldn't have said that. I looked up at him. Don't feel guilty, Hagrid, it's fine. I'm glad you told me the truth, and I'm glad I know. A few minutes went by, and neither of us said anything. He lifted my chin and wiped my tears. Stop your crying, Miranda. It's not worth it. I've been falling for Snape all this time, and I trusted him. My birth parents would be alive if it weren't for them both. I believe Snape did what he had to do, Miranda. I don't think Snape had much of a choice but to follow Voldemort's orders. I looked at him as he continued. Look, why don't you try and get some rest? Maybe try to eat something too. You can always come back and talk to me anytime you need to. Okay? I nodded my head as we talked for a few more minutes before I hugged him and said my goodbye. After that, I left to make my way back to my dormitory, assuming it would be breakfast time by now. As I was walking in the hallway, I saw Snape in the distance ahead of me. I don't need this. I don't want to see him at all at the moment. Feeling pure anger from everything that has happened lately, I stormed up and kicked him hard in his lower leg. He asked angrily, What was that for, Miss Parker? You know bloody what, Snape. You've been nothing but extremely cold and rude lately, forcibly kissing me on my birthday in front of my friends. Oh, and you had Voldemort kill my parents 10 years ago, and you never told me. I didn't realize that my voice was rising with hurt, anger, and sadness. I continued, Why would you keep that from me? Did you think I couldn't handle it? Knowing how young I was, losing my parents like Harry did, except he was a baby and I was a small child. Why did you have to kill them, Severus? I took a couple of breaths, desperately trying not to break down then and there. I gave up and fell on the floor, crying hard like a toddler throwing a temper tantrum. Believe it or not, he literally stood there, watching my every move. I saw him trying to kneel to touch me, but I snapped back. Don't touch me, you cold-hearted, selfless murderer. You have to understand, I didn't mean or want to kill your parents, Miranda. Why are you lying to me, Snape? People know you were a Death Eater to Voldemort, and some know what a cruel, heartless, scared man you are. I'm sorry, he muttered. Within a matter of a few seconds, he snorted, got up, and left the area. He seriously just left me on the floor. I think I faintly heard him say as he walked away, Happy late birthday, Miranda, but I'm not 100% sure. I truly and honestly don't understand why he's being this way to me. I don't understand it. I got up and started to run through the castle and came up with a plan as I headed to where Snape keeps all of his extra potions. I closed the door behind me as I stood in the small place in front of the ladder and caught my breath. In the silence, I screamed with tear-stained cheeks as I started to grab vials of random bottles and throw them angrily around me, watching them land and spill everywhere in the room. The feelings of sadness, anger, betrayal, and hurt filled my brain. Bad memories ran through me as I thought about everything I had found out lately. How could one person handle all this? I don't think or know if I can. I slid down on the floor as I felt the ladder behind me, tears falling down my face, and I pulled my legs to my chest. After a few minutes, I cleaned up the best I could and gathered some bottles. Then I sneaked to Snape's classroom, got some supplies, and afterward traveled to the girls' bathroom. Once I got there, I set everything down and set it up. I sat and cried about everything. Losing my parents at an early age, living with Hermione's parents, who became my step-parents, and my crush on Harry faded because of my crush on Snape took me into loving and adoring him. Everything that happened between me and Snape, from how we started staring at each other in class to becoming secret lovers, losing my virginity, the beat that Snape gave me that morning for something I didn't even do, and finding out that my stepfather is on his deathbed from a car crash. Then have Snape tell me to get over him and move on, how much hurt he has caused me, and now to find out that Snape helped Voldemort kill my parents 10 years ago. The only positive is knowing how many people care about me and the decision Harry and I made. I sighed as I looked at everything, the mixed potions and my wand. A few hours later, I started to wake up, but kept my eyes closed to act like I was asleep, hearing voices around me and listening. "Professor, what happened to Miranda? Is she all right?" Harry asked. "Don't fret, she's going to be fine. Madame Pomfrey and Professor Snape worked together to save her before too much damage was caused. I'll have to talk to her sometime," Dumbledore responded. I heard footsteps as I heard Dumbledore again. "What is it, Severus?" "She broke into my storage and took from me. There are broken bottles scattered and spilled everywhere. It's going to take a long time to clean up and replace them." "This isn't like her," Hermione said. "She would never do this." "It makes sense from what we found when we discovered her," Dumbledore muttered. "Is she going to be in trouble?" Ron asked. "What do you think, Severus?" Dumbledore asked. "She should be punished for the damage she did and for stealing from me. However, I'm willing to give her the benefit of the doubt, but 5 points should be removed from her house," Snape responded. "Yes," Dumbledore started. "I agree. She has been through enough recently that I can look away from this and not punish her. However, 5 points will be taken from her house for messing around with dangerous potions that could have resulted in death." I felt someone grab my hand and sit by my side. I had a feeling it was Harry. "Can we stay with her, sir?" Harry asked. "Of course. Stay as long as you can," Dumbledore responded. "She's going to be a mess when she wakes up," Hermione muttered. "I know," Harry responded. "We need to be here for her," Ron chimed in to say. "We all do," Dumbledore stated. "I may be the elephant in the room at the present moment, but I never meant to cause her any harm." "I know you didn't, Severus. You can't help who you love, and she's been through a lot. It makes you do the craziest things," Dumbledore responded. That's the last thing I remember hearing as I fell asleep for a few minutes and slowly opened my eyes. Everyone was watching me, and I didn't say a word. I looked at everyone as they all seemed concerned but relieved, including Dumbledore, who gave me a small smile. I guess they were waiting for me to wake up. My eyes immediately glared to look over at Snape. He glanced at me with surprising anger, hatred, sorrow, hope, scared, and love, as I could tell it was hidden in his mysterious eyes. "I loved Lily all my life, more than I can ever love you," ran through my head as I remember him saying those words. As if he could read my mind, his look turned to sorrow and regret as I filled with sadness, regretting what I did. "Miranda?" Harry questioned as he grabbed my hand. I turned to look at Harry with pure sadness and finally stated, "I'm so sorry, Harry. I'm sorry for everyone worrying about me. For everything." Hermione glanced at me seriously, but full of sisterly love. "Don't be sorry, Miranda, but please don't ever scare us like this again. We care about you too much to let anything happen to you. I knew something was wrong when I never saw you again, so I fetched everyone together to find you." Everyone nodded their heads in agreement with what she said, including Snape. I didn't say anything about hearing their previous conversation, but Dumbledore glanced at me as if he silently knew that I had listened. Snape looked like he was about to give in and start crying or something, so he turned around and left the room without saying another word. After knowing I was okay, Dumbledore nodded his head with a small smile and left to tell Hagrid everything that had happened to me, since apparently Hagrid got worried about me too. Now, I feel extremely guilty, and I know he'll be feeling more guilty than me, but it just wasn't because of what he told me. It was much more than that, and I believe Dumbledore and Snape knew that without even asking me why. Harry and the others decided to stay with me in the hospital wing to keep me company. Fred, George, and Neville soon joined too. They must have sensed that I didn't want to talk about the event, but filled me in on the conversation that they didn't know I had listened to. Hermione asked, "Do you mind explaining what happened when you talked to Hagrid, Miranda? That's the last thing I know you were going to do before all this occurred." I totally forgot, since I hadn't seen any of them since before all of this. I told them the conversation and the news that Hagrid told me about Snape, followed by the interaction I had in the hallway with Snape. After I was finished, George asked, "So, Snape helped you-know-who kill your birth parents?" I nodded my head and sadly responded, "I guess so, George, yeah. I mean, that's what it seems like, since he didn't deny what I was told. Hagrid did say that Snape probably didn't have a choice back then but to kill my parents because of you-know-who, and he was under his orders, and being an order from him means to do whatever you're told or suffer the consequences." They all sadly in response, knowing how sensitive I was about talking about my parents. But I could have sworn I heard one of them mutter quietly that Snape was a bastard or something of that nature. I know everyone is just being protective of me. Harry and I looked at each other, since I knew he partly understood all of this deeper than anyone else. Ron comfortably stated, "It'll be okay, Miranda." Fred added, "Yeah, you have Harry now and us too. That's what matters." "Yeah, you guys are right," I responded while smiling as I looked directly at Harry. He smiled back at me with a worried look still on his face. "Why would he say that stuff to you still? I mean Snape," Neville asked. "Neville's right," Hermione said. "He was concerned, of course, but didn't seem out of the ordinary. He even worked with Madame Pomfrey to help heal you immediately. None of this makes sense to me anymore." I looked at Hermione and Neville. "I know it doesn't, but maybe one day I can get some answers." Then Madame Pomfrey came over to check on me. I asked, "So how long will I be in here?" "Just overnight to make sure you're fully healed and you can leave in the morning if things look good, dear." "Okay, thanks, Madame Pomfrey," I responded, smiling her way as Harry came by my side and stayed there.